fall off. Now they holler he'll turn, thinking I'ma sell out. Talking just to feel heard, I never listen, although they say it's strictly. Welcome to Quick Hits. I'm your host, Shannon Smith, aka Podcast Smitty. If you're new to the show, what's good? I'm Shannon. I'm a fan of sport, and Quick Hits is dropping weekly to discuss headlines in the field of sports. So if that's what you came for, go ahead and give this video a like and get into those comments. Let's talk some sports. But most importantly, go ahead and subscribe to the Boom Broadcasting YouTube channel and go through the plethora of podcasts that we have in the field of TV and movies, sports, and sports entertainment. So what are we going to talk about today? This show is more geared towards the WNBA this week because we had week 1 of the WNBA season. That is something that I've looked forward to. I'm going to be covering that all on this podcast. Who knows? I might have my own WNBA podcast. I might break away from that. Who knows? We may not. But Quick Hits is going to be the podcast where you're going to get all your WNBA until the season's end. I had a great time covering the WNBA last year. I look forward to doing so in its entirety for this year. But we're going to go ahead and get ready to start the show because we have a lot of sports to talk about besides the WNBA before we get into that. So let's go ahead and start the show. Now, I call myself a fan of sport, and we're going to go through a lot of sports that happened this weekend. I was happy because I was off this weekend, and I got to absorb all of the sports from this weekend, and it was a lot of it. So we're going to go ahead and get into this fan of sports segment, starting with the sport of tennis, as Novak Djokovic won his 100th major this weekend. He joins Jimmy Connors and Roger Federer as the only men's tennis players to ever win 100 or more majors. Jimmy Connors has 109. Roger Federer has 103. Novak Djokovic, the original Joker. I know that you guys are talking about Nikola Jokic, and yes, he deserves it because Jokic is the man. But Novak Djokovic, the original Joker, congratulations to him on his 100th major and making history in men's tennis. Then we go down to lacrosse. Now, I'm not well versed in lacrosse, but I watched a good bit of it this weekend, and it was really, really cool. We're going to start off with college lacrosse as the women's national championship went on Sunday. And congratulations to the North Carolina Lady Tar Heels completing the perfect season, 22-0 and winning the women's national championship of lacrosse 12-8 against a Northwestern squad that played them tough. It was a nip and tuck game, but Carolina just took the lead in the fourth quarter, kept going with it. 12-8 is your outcome. Chloe Humphrey, the freshman, 4 goals for my Lady Tar Heels. Congratulations to them for winning the national championship. And the men's national championship will be played on Monday. So with all the time constraints for getting this podcast, my man Michael Davis, I won't be able to cover that. But we will have a winner by the time this podcast drops. Maryland and Cornell will do battle on Monday, Memorial Day, that is. So good luck to both teams as they do battle, and we'll see who the winner is going to be later on. And the National Lacrosse League, the Buffalo Bandits, become the first North American professional team in a decade to complete the three-peat, winning their 3rd consecutive championship in the NLL. Congratulations to the Buffalo Bandits getting that three-peat. Good job, fellas. And then we go on to women's softball. Now, the Women's College World Series will be going on this week. I won't be able to get the winners to you because of time constraints. Of course, I want to get this podcast, my man Michael Davis, so he can go ahead and upload it at the right time. But the Oklahoma Sooners are looking to win their 5th consecutive national championship in this tournament here. I've been watching a good bit of softball. Been watching it. It's been fun. So great stuff. Let's see what happens this week. And then we go in to some auto racing. Now, I'm from North Wilkesboro. That's where I grew up. Historic North Wilkesboro Motor Speedway, where the All-Star race was last week. Not that far from my house. But I'm going into all of auto racing here as we start with the Monaco Grand Prix. Monaco, great place to race. I know that there's a lot of people who are big fans of Formula One. I just got into the sport not too long ago. I know Michael Schumacher. I know Mario Andretti. I know those names. I've seen them race before. But as far as paying attention to it fully, I'm starting to do that this year. The Monaco Grand Prix happened on Sunday morning as Lando Norris won the event this year. He won it for this week. He was followed by Charles Leclerc, who was number 2, Oscar Piastri, who is the points leader in Formula One. My favorite driver, Max Verstappen, had the lead for a little bit, but went into the pit. He got the 4th place finish, and Lewis Hamilton finished as number 5 in the Monaco Grand Prix that took place Sunday morning. And of course, we got the Memorial Day Classic, the Indy 500 going on. Of course, time constraints happened. There was a rain delay that happened, and I'm not going to have the winner, but it's on my TV as we speak, as we're doing this here podcast. The Penske race team was penalized in an ongoing cheating investigation. The 2-time winner of the event, he was the 2nd consecutive winner, Joseph Newgarden, will start in the back of the pack after winning the pole. Because of the investigation, Helio Castroneves looks to win his 5th IndyCar race and break the 4-man tie, because there are 4 drivers that have 4 wins at the Memorial Day event. Helio Castroneves looks to be the man to get number 5 today. And the Coca-Cola 600 in NASCAR going on in Charlotte Motor Speedway. Kyle Larson is racing in the Indy 500, and he's going to race in the Coca-Cola 600. He looks to be the first driver since Tony Stewart did it in 2001 to race in both of them and complete both of them. We'll see if he gets it done. Let's go into soccer. As the UEFA Women's Championship League, Arsenal defeats Barcelona 1-0, winning their first championship in 18 years. Congratulations to the Lady Arsenal squad. Going into hockey, the U.S. team is going to face Switzerland in the Hockey World Championship. They're looking to win their first gold medal in the Hockey World Championship in 92 years. The last time our squad did it was in 1933. Let's see what happens. Once again, time constraints, not able to cover who the winner is. And going into hockey, it ain't been a good hockey weekend for me as the Florida Panthers defeat my Carolina Hurricanes 6-2. They're up 3-0. It looks like my Hurricanes are going to get to another conference final and get blanked. I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy. I'll probably be dropping a short sometime this week talking about it. And then the Edmonton Oilers are going to be facing the Dallas Stars later on Sunday, as the series is tied 1-1 as we speak. Of course, that's going to change by the time this podcast uploads, but that's cool. So the UFL also too going on. St. Louis Battlehawks defeating the San Antonio Brahmas 39-13. The Birmingham Stallions defeating the Michigan Panthers 26-22. I got to watch that game. The Arlington Renegades defeating the Memphis Showboats 30-12. The DC Defenders, once again for the time constraint, not able to cover that game. They'll play the Houston Roughnecks later on Sunday. DC is the 2nd overall team in the UFL. I'm loving the player Jordan Tiamu, who's the quarterback for the DC Defenders, having to bounce back year after last year not doing so well. So he's going to be doing battle, leading his team in the battle against the Houston Roughnecks. One more week in the UFL, and then the playoffs will begin. We had a weekend of pro wrestling, which was really, really great. My man mouthing off with Mike at Double or Nothing. As we speak, he's in the crowd watching that live. And then, of course, Saturday night main event took place for the WWE. I'm going to let my wrestling friends, Sean Lucas, Michael Davis, and Mountain Off with Mike talk about that. I'm going to let them talk about that. But I was watching, it was some great wrestling. And then the NBA went on as Minnesota defeated OKC 143-101. Where's that been, Ant-Man? Putting up 30 points right now. Where's that been? And then the New York Knicks later on Sunday will take on the Indiana Pacers. Of course, the Indiana Pacers leading 2-0 in the series. That may change. That may change. And your fan of sports segment of Quick Hits is complete. And of course, your main attraction here on Quick Hits is going to be the WNBA season week 1. So let's go ahead and get into it for this week. We started out on Monday, Seattle 79-71 win over the Dallas Wings. Nneka Ogwumike and Skylar Diggins together, incredible combo. Gabby Williams had a great game. They played very well. Paige Beckers got to add 19.6 rebounds, 8 assists in her season debut. Like what I seen out of Paige. She was like she could be doing something. Seattle's going to be a tough squad this year, especially with what Nneka Ogwumike and Skylar Diggins have as a squad. Great unit there. Then Las Vegas on Tuesday, playing the Connecticut Sun, beating them 87-62. Asia Wilson, another double-double, 22 and 10. Got to give love to Jewel Lloyd, who came over to the Vegas Aces after some controversy with the Seattle Storm, where she was traded from. But they got a big win against Connecticut here. Tina Charles putting up 20 points. She was a lone contributor to the Connecticut Sun. It's not good at all. Tina Charles is a heck of a player, second all-time in points for the WNBA, all-time leading rebounder. She is great rebounder. Tina Charles is from UConn. And then later on, Atlanta, 91-90, beating Indiana on Tuesday. Aliyah Boston, can we not talk about her enough? I know she's playing the side right alongside Caitlin Clark. And of course, Caitlin's going to get looks. But Aliyah Boston was the number 1 pick in last year's draft, coming from South Carolina, from that Dawn Staley squad. She can ball as well, too. But Atlanta's looking really good, adding on Brittany Griner. She put up 21 and 8 in that game. Alicia Gray, 16 points. Rain Howard, who was guarding Caitlin Clark for most of the game, she had 20 points in that game. So this is going to be interesting watching the Atlanta Dream as they get better. Then we move on to Wednesday. Dallas almost getting the Minnesota Lynx. 85-81 is your final. Arike Ogunbowale, remember, she led the WNBA in points. She's the points champion, scoring champion last year. She put up 21. Anytime she can get going, she can get going. She's automatic offense. But Nafisa Collier, 28 points, 8 rebounds. This is just the start of her week. She has a great week leading on into it as well. So great game for her. Elena Smith, Courtney Williams adding on 13 apiece in that win as they beat Dallas by 4. This was a surprise game to me. Golden State, the Valkyries, winning against Washington Mystics 76-74. Golden State, the expansion team, Veronica Burton, 22 points and 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Played very, very well against a Washington squad that just could not miss. Brittany Sykes, 30 points in that game. And they've got a fairly young squad. Sonia Citron, who was the number 3 pick. And then Kiki Ariafin from USC. Plays side Juju Williams over at USC. 10 points apiece from those two. They were the 3 and 4 pick in the WNBA draft, going to the Washington Mystics. Tight game, but Golden State gets the win. And then a squad that I'm really paying attention to this year is going to be the Los Angeles Sparks. They lost by 3 to the Phoenix Mercury. Another squad I'm looking at as well, too. I'm loving De'Erica Hamby and Kelsey Plum's Their kinship that they're having right now, they're doing well in that pick and roll. Azaria Stevens looking to play very, very well. Rakia Jackson. This Los Angeles Sparks squad could raise some eyebrows this year, but this Phoenix Mercury squad, with no Diana Taurasi this year, Satu Sabali put up 25 points. She is looking like she could be contending for MVP this year with the way that she's playing with this Phoenix Mercury squad, leaving the Dallas Wings to come to Phoenix. Then we go to Thursday. Indiana and Atlanta do battle yet again. Indiana gets the better of them, 81-76. Rain Howard had 24 points for Atlanta, but Natasha Howard, 26 points, 12 of 17 from the floor in that game as Indiana gets the win. The New York Liberty beating the Chicago Sky, beating them in the ground, 99-74. What a game that was. It was just contributions all over the place. Natasha Cloud, 18 points, 8 assists. Jonquel Jones, 11 points, 7 rebounds. Sabrina Ionescu, 16 points, 12 points for Brianna Stewart. Kennedy Burke, 17 points off the bench. The Chicago Sky, I'm very disappointed in. Courtney Vandersloot is the lead scorer, and she had 14 points. The bench scored more points than the starters did. Rachel Bonham, 15 points, 5 of 7 from 3. Rebecca Allen, 11 points off the bench for the Sky. And this is where I look like I'm going to be a hater, but that's okay. I got to point it out. Angel Reese, 28 minutes in this game. 2 points, 12 rebounds, 0 of 8 from the floor. You're not putting up a good case there, Angel, and I don't want to be that person. I really don't, because I know you can play basketball. You had a very good showing in the Unrivaled League this winter. Don't let these people jump on you like that, honey. You can play better than this. But also, too, where's the rest of our team? Where's Camila Cardoso? Where are you guys at? Now, Teresa Witherspoon wore the blame for why this squad didn't do well last year. But where are they at? I want to see that. I want to see it. Not effort, no effort whatsoever. It didn't look like it. I know that New York is a squad. They're a great squad. They're the defending champions. But you got to do better than that. Then we go into Friday. Connecticut and Minnesota, 76-70 in favor of Minnesota. Marina Mabry had 22, 8, and 5 for the Connecticut Sun. Some other players showed up in that game, not just Tina Charles. She didn't have that great of a game in this game. But Nafisa Collier, 33 points, 11 rebounds. She is front runner for MVP right now as we speak. Then we go to Las Vegas as they win 75-72. Game-winning 3 for Jewel Lloyd, getting the 3 that propelled the Las Vegas Aces over the Washington Mystics on Friday. Then Golden State, surprise win against the Los Angeles Sparks, 82-73. Carla Light, 19 points off the bench. She showed out in Europe. So she's coming over to America. She's about to do the same thing. She showed out in the European League. So let's see what she's got here with the Valkyries. Golden State played some great basketball alongside of each other. This Los Angeles Sparks squad is going to be fun to watch. De'Erica Hamby had 25 points, 9 of 16 from the floor. Might I say she's from the ACC. She's from Wake Forest. Played with those Demon Deacons. Very good, solid post player. What they need here in Los Angeles. Then the Phoenix Mercury played the Seattle Storm. Storm winning 77-70. Nneka Ogwumike, Miss President of the WNBA PA, 24 points, 8 rebounds. She had another big game on Monday. She's having a big game here, 11-15 from the floor. Skylar Diggins, 24 and 14. She had 14 assists, tied Sue Bird for the franchise record in a single game. Sky Diggs, Nneka Ogwumike, they're playing great. Gabby Williams as well, too. Then we go to Saturday as the New York Liberty play the Indiana Fever. They win it 90-88. Caitlin Clark felt like she was fouled on the last possession when she was going for the last shot. Great defense being played on that game. You look at the camera angle, I didn't see a foul, but she was talking about it was. But New York gets the victory. And then Atlanta, the Atlanta Dream playing the Dallas Wings. This was a great game. Going back and forth, I got to watch all of the game. It was very interesting seeing how well Alicia Gray was playing. 27 points in that game. Brittany Griner, 15 and 8. You know, this Atlanta Dream squad, they're going to be tough with Brittany Griner being added on that team. But Paige Becker, 11 points in that game. She played very, very well. Got to get Arike Wnba, got to get her going. She had a 21-point game this week. But when she's scoring, that's going to help them a lot. But Paige Becker, she's balling. She's going out there balling. And I love it. Now, of course, for time constraints, the Sunday games I won't be able to cover. The Connecticut Sun will be playing the Atlanta Dream. The Chicago Sky playing the Los Angeles Sparks. Washington will be playing the Phoenix Mercury. And the Las Vegas Aces will be playing the Seattle Storm on Sunday. Week 2 looking to be interesting, very appetizing games here on Tuesday. Dallas and Connecticut. Then Golden State at New York. Seattle going to be playing Minnesota. I want to see that game there. That's going to be an interesting game. Nneka Ogwumike versus Napheesa Collier. I want to see that low post battle. Atlanta against the Los Angeles Sparks. In Chicago with Phoenix. Wednesday, Indiana with Washington. Golden State playing New York and Dallas and Chicago on Thursday. Friday, going to be a whole stack of games. Connecticut versus Indiana. New York versus Washington. Los Angeles versus Las Vegas. They're going to be going to Las Vegas. Kelsey Plum going to be playing her old squad. Minnesota playing Phoenix. And Atlanta playing Seattle. That is the Friday games. And Saturday, Chicago versus Dallas. Paige Becker going up against Angel Reese and company. Now, looking at these power rankings. Now, the power rankings I have with the WNBA right now, starting off at number 5. I got the Phoenix Mercury. Satu Sabali making a claim for MVP early in the season. Alyssa Thomas playing right beside her, a tenured player. I got Phoenix at number 5 for this week. Then the Seattle Storm at number 4. Nneka and Sky Diggs playing incredible together. Great tandem off the pick and roll. Gabby Williams, great on the offense as well, too. I want to see Dominique Malonga from France. I want to see her added into the mix. Let's see what she's got. Then the Vegas Aces at number 3. Lloyd Young and Gray adding on to our unanimous MVP, Asia Wilson. I like them. Number 2, the New York Liberty. They're the defending champions. They're dangerous with the addition of Natasha Cloud. And number 1, the Minnesota Lynx. They want revenge this year. Napheesa Collier looking like she is looking for that MVP. But most importantly, she's looking for a title. That's your WNBA Quick Hits for this week. See you next week where we talk about week 2. Let's go. And that is our show, everybody. Thank you for watching. We covered a lot of sports here, from lacrosse to tennis to wrestling to spring football to basketball, the WNBA. We covered a lot of ground here today. Have a great week, everybody. Make sure that you watch the Dugout Debrief with my man, Chris DeLuca. Make sure that you're watching 3 from Deep. Jason Colenso 3 times a week, talking that playoff basketball that we've been watching and we've been enjoying. Make sure you watch It Stinks. Make sure you watch Wrestling of Destiny with my man, Sean Lucas. Make sure that you watch Drop the Mic with Michael Davis, Out of Pocket. Make sure you're watching all this stuff here on the Boom Broadcasting YouTube channel. There will be more coming this week, so keep your eyes peeled. Keep it locked here on Boom Broadcasting. As always, I'm Shannon Smith, and this is Quick Hits. Can't fall off, now they holler he'll turn, thinking I'ma sell out, talking just to feel heard. I never listen, although they say it's strictly